Hello, hello. This is Sandy from Ledoux Designs. About to get ready to work on my new Trinity Stamps. Super excited about them. I hope you guys are too. If you're watching this replay on YouTube, please be sure to like and subscribe as it helps me bring more stuff to you. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. If you pop in, hi, Jim and Lynn. It would be great if somebody could just say hi real quick, just so I can make sure that I can read the comments. That would be super great. Hi, Lisa. Okay, so these are the stamp sets that I want to work with tonight. I really like these little gnomes. They're so adorable. And tonight, we're going to use this one, and tomorrow we're going to use this one, and probably that one too. So I just wanted to go ahead and get started. Hi, Becky. If somebody could say hi, that'd be super great, just so I can make sure I can see comments. Right now I'm not seeing any. This is the, oh, hello, Cheryl. Thank you. I'm good. This die set right here is really neat. Hi, Becky. Hi, Danny. Yay. Thank you, you guys. I can see you. This is called the Mini Envelope Builder Slimline die set. So I have never made mini slimline cards because I knew I would have trouble finding an envelope. So I thought this set would be really cool. And when I got it, I was like, I don't know how to do that. And I didn't even know what size the mini slimlines were, so I researched that, looked it up. They're normally 6 by 6, so you score at 3 inches and then fold it in half and it becomes your card. But this envelope, the card was a tiny bit small, so I'm gonna change my size to 6.5 by 6 1/4. You can make it this long and it'll still fit in this envelope. It fits either way, but it fits. You can make it a tad bit bigger. So that's what we're going to do tonight. So this die set comes with a lot of pieces. I have some scraps in there. And there's uses for everything in here, which is pretty cool. It also comes with this one, which I have already taken out. But this is the base of the envelope right here. So you just have to cut one of these. So I already cut it out, so you wouldn't have to watch me cut. Hi, Lori. Hi, Mom. And then it also scores. You can probably see those score lines here and here. So that's good. We don't have to worry about that. So you need this one. And then you need to use this one on the end right here. And you need 2 of them. So I went ahead and cut them out. This is going to be Christmas themed, so I did red and green. So green for the envelope, the card will be red. So I cut 2 of these and it scores right here for you. So that's great as well. So those are the 2 pieces that actually do the envelope. And then this additional piece right here is an outline that I know you guys saw the pictures already, but what it does is it cuts the paper that you can mat on top of your card. Now it fits perfectly right on the front if you make it 6 by 6 and there's no matting look to it. It just bumps right up against the edge of the card. So that was another reason that I changed the size just a little bit. Again, I did 6.5 by 6 1/4. So just so you know, I changed it just a tad. But I went ahead and cut this one prior to the live just so you wouldn't have to watch me cut it. So we have that one because we're going to be making our card. And then these remaining dies right here, these are little accent dies. This one can be used for a little postage if you want, you know, if you're not actually going to mail it or whatever and you just want to put some cute little designs on the front. You can put the little star, kind of like your stamp, or the little heart if you want. However you want to do it. There's a lot of things you can do, but that's what these are for, just little accent pieces. And then this is if you want to put a sentiment across it. And then these ones, This one right here is also a circle if you just want to use it around the star, just accent pieces. But these ones right here, they go on the tag. So we'll talk about the tag tomorrow night. Tonight we're going to talk about the envelope and the card. Tomorrow night we're going to talk about the tag, and we're going to do more coloring. There's also these sentiments for those who can't read that backwards. It says, for you and with love. So you have two separate sentiments, or you can do love you, or, you know, however you want to do it. So there's that. That is all the pieces that come in it. And again, the ones we'll talk about tomorrow night that have to do with the tag. So we're definitely going to make some tags for tomorrow night. Now this little piece right here, if you wanted to close your envelope, I know some of you have seen where the string wraps around back and forth and back and forth. You can close this envelope and put this on there so you can wrap the string around it. That, you can do that as well. And I saw that on Trinity Stamps website or YouTube. So you can definitely go out and look at the YouTube as well. Now, I didn't do all of my stamping or anything like that because I figured we could do that together tonight. But this is our envelope. This is our card pre-cut. Again, I did it 6.5 by 6 1/4. The 6 1/4 is the length, so, and 6.5 this way. And then scored it halfway. So we have this piece. I cut one for the inside, which also, I think I took a die out of this set. So I had set it aside because we have to do it tonight. It's this one. And let me tell you, I had to Google this one because I had no idea what this was. I was like, that's a really cool die, but I don't know what to do with it. So I'm going to show you tonight how to do it, but what it does is it cuts these little flaps inside your card to put a gift card in there. So it's gift card holder. So this is separate, so you could use this for anything you want to add a gift card to. And I happen to have a gift card here handy. So I can show you that it just slides right in here underneath these, and it just sits right there. So now not only do you have a card, a cute envelope, a cute design, but you also can make it a gift card holder. So that is pretty cool too. So we are going to make this one a gift card holder because I always need a ton of those at Christmas time. So we're definitely going to do that. Hi, Judy. And I'll show you how to cut that one. So I pulled that one out because I have not cut that one yet. So we'll go ahead and we'll start by stamping, and then we'll color the gnomes, and then we'll put everything all together, and we'll have a completed project when we are done. And this is called Holiday Hangouts. I believe they have matching dies for it. I don't have them, and tonight we don't need them, so we're good. I'm going to use this little guy over here on the edge, and I'm going to grab my Misty so we can stamp it easily. So I have my Misty here. And then we're going to place our paper inside here. The good thing is it still fits in here, even though it's the mini Slimline, and this is the small Misty. It fits in here just perfectly, so I like that because then I don't have to get my big Misty out, but I can do that if need be. And I'm going to put a lot of magnets there because I don't want it to get messed up. Hi, Lori. If I missed anybody, hello to all of y'all. Hi, Jenny. I wanted to put this way up towards the top, but I kind of wanted the string to look like it was coming from this dotted area right here, so I just need to line it up exactly where I want it. And I kind of put them off to the side because I'm going to put some other stuff over here and some down here. So I wanted to go ahead and get him stamped in here exactly where I wanted him first, because he's kind of my most important part of the card. I mean, he is like, check it out. Hey, Laura. He's like, check me out. I'm swinging here for Christmas. This is awesome. So we're going to place that on there. I'm just going to use my little press pop to press on there so we get a good clean, crisp image. which we did. Happy about that. And then I'm also going to stamp some stuff along the bottom and a sentiment. And we might as well do that all right now while we're here. So I'm going to go ahead and spray my cleaning rag and clean my stamp real quick, because I don't like them to be all stained up, even though, you know, sometimes you can't help that. It just is what it is. But I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. I'm just going to leave my stamps laying out here. I can clean them up after you guys have already gone. You like the gnomes? I like them too. These, I don't have a lot of gnomes at my house, so this was a super fun one to get. And I believe I bought this when I was in the at the show at the expo in Washington. When I went shopping there, I bought this stamp set. So I've had it for a little while. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment on there. I want to use Happy Holidays. And then I'm going to take this out for my stamping of the ornaments at the bottom. And I'll show you why I'm going to do that in just a minute. So there we go. Now we have our sentiment. Hey, Mom. Watching from Erie, Pennsylvania. You go, girl. So we'll take that off. Now I'm going to put my Misty away for now, because I'm going to stamp this ornament using my block. And the reason is because I want these ornaments to look like they fell, so I don't want them to have this string on them. So I'm going to stamp this one without the string. I hope it works, but that's the plan. So I'm going to grab a few, some little sticky notes here, and I'm going to tear them so I can use them on here. And I'm going to put this one right up against this area right here, because I don't want it, I want the full scene to be inside these stitched lines. It's kind of important to me because that's just the way that I want it to be. And then this one, same thing. And I'm going to place that down there. I have this really amazing new magnet from the Glassboard Studio. They're now rectangle, so they're kind of cool. And then I'm just going to place this here so I can make sure that I'm not going to get the top part of that bow on my stamp. So even if I get a little bit of that ink on my stamp, it won't really stamp because I have it covered up right here. So I want to make sure I get all the ink on there, because we got one shot, you guys, one shot. All right, here we go. I want this to kind of be laying on the card. There we go. So we got one down, one to go. I want one on the other side. I just wanted them to look like they were falling, and I thought they looked funny if they had the bow on them, because they probably wouldn't fall with the bow on it. So I'm just going to press that down, lift it up. When we lift this up, it looks like they fell. And they're not on the outside of my card. So I wanted it to not, I wanted it to look like this outside part was cut it off. Like you could only see in a window, and that's it. So that was my plan. It worked. We did it. Woohoo! All right. So at one point when I practiced coloring these, I wrote down my colors and everything that I used to make it easier for tonight. But unfortunately, I have no idea what I did with it, so we're going to wing it. I'm okay with that, though. We can wing it. You know, we got this. We've colored before. We can color again. So we are going to grab... We're going to go ahead and start on our little guy. So I'm going to zoom in so it'll get significantly closer. I got a new phone, so you guys, I'm struggling with how to zoom in and how to handle all this stuff here. There we go. I got it. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to grab some skin tone colors that we can put on this little guy. All right, and we're going to give him a little bit of blush in his little cheeks. So we need a little bit of a red. So what I have right now, just for our little gnome, is we're going to use R11 for the cheeks. We're going to use E000 just to wet the paper, and then we're going to use E04, E13, E11, and E00 to color up our little gnome. So here we go. We'll go ahead and get started. This is my E000. The only part of the gnome that you can see are his hands, which are right here. And there's his other hand. And then he has shoes on his feet, so that's not going to help us. And then his little face right here. We're going to put that. This also helps give you a guide to what you actually are going to color in skin tone by setting it up ahead of time. So we just kind of wet our paper and got ready. And now we're going to go in with the E04, which is one of the darker shades. So I don't know if you all color dark to light or light to dark, but we're going to do dark to light. And I'm going to do the underside of his fingers and his hand, because that's where our shadow would be. And then I'm going to do it underneath his hat, right here, and on this side. I'm also going to soften these right here so they don't come to a sharp point at the end. And then I also think he needs just a little bit up here under his nose on both sides. Now, we are going to put a little bit on his nose, but we're not going to put it up at the top. We're going to put it at the bottom. Basically, because his nose sticks out and it's super cute. So, all right. So next we're going to go with E13. And we're just going to kind of push back that color right back into where we put it already, just so we can keep that depth going the way that we intended for it to be. So I'm not going to pull from where I put that color. I'm just going to kind of push back into it. I don't do that a lot. I do more pulling, but for this particular situation, I feel like it needs a little bit of the pushing back versus pulling. So there we go. I think these gnomes, some of the really important part when you're doing them is the skin so that it stands out. And then the beard, I think, is so important. Okay, so now I'm going to add E11. And this one I'm going to add to the top of his nose so he has a little bit of shadow color there. And then I'm going to start pulling from where I put that darkest color up on his nose. So really want his highlight to be right towards the top of his nose, up here. So I'm going to kind of leave that part undone. So you'll kind of be able to see where I want that to be sticking out at. And then around the outside, because this is the true color, the next one will be the highlight. So we'll highlight those little cheeks. Those cute little cheeks. They're so adorable. There we go. And then we're going to do his hands. And we're just going to leave very small area on his hands. Not a lot. Just like the knuckle area. So you guys, I've had a house full of people all week. It's been crazy here at my house. Okay, R11 is what we're going to put on the cheeks just so we can give him a little bit of rosy in his cheeks. I don't want him to stand out too much. I am going to put him in this white area, but we're going to go over it with the next color. But I feel like they need just a little bit of rosy in there. So now we're going to use our E00. This is our last color, and this is our highlight color. I'm just going to kind of go over all of it since I put that blush in there, and I want that to kind of blend together with the rest of it. And then we'll go over this one as well. So I'm going to work that nose just a little bit so that you can't see that big line right there. I don't want you to be able to see the line. I just want it to look like a highlight up there. So there we go. That worked out really nicely. And then we're going to fill in the knuckles with this light color. There we go. And now we have a bit of skin tone. Now, if you feel like you need just a little bit more depth, go back in with your dark color, but go with the second color, not the first, not the darkest color. And just enhance those shadow areas just a little bit. So I feel like it washes out a little bit sometimes, depending on what image you're doing. And I feel like he needed just a little bit more under that hat since it's coming down on his head so far. And then you have to soften it up with the next color. You kind of walk them down just like you would if you were doing it for the first time. But I don't put a lot of color on there, just a little bit to keep that depth going. And I'm pretty sure you can tell now the difference in the shadow that we were missing that we just put back in there. We want that to be there. We want that to all stand out like that. The depth is very important. So if you if you didn't write the colors down, or you want to use the colors later when I upload this on YouTube, when you're watching it on a replay, you can definitely get the color combinations from there because I post them all in the description. Okay, so next we're going to start working on the beard. Now, I like a warm gray when I'm doing this. So I've chosen W3, W1, and W00. And I also have my colorless blender handy because I like to leave some really bright highlight in that beard. So I'm going to start with W3. It's going to seem very dark when we start out, but don't be scared. It'll be all right, I promise. So we're going to start by doing some brush strokes from his face, and we're going to try to follow the line of that beard. So his beard is kind of wiggling down here all the way around. So you have a little bit of a curve to it. So my brush strokes that go down are going down in that direction. And the closer I get to it, the more they'll be straightened out a little bit because they're going to come back this way. So I'm also going to do a few of them from this angle, but they'll be much shorter. I don't want to put as much of this down here as I put up there at the top. But I'm going to try to follow that same type of pattern. So staying in the same direction the whole time. And then this is part of his beard as well. So we need just a little bit in there of the dark color. And then same thing from here. This one is going to be kind of shadowed by that ornament that's hanging there. So next we're going to go to W1. And what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to try to put my brush strokes in between where the last ones were. Just so they start coming together, but still I want to have some of the, I want to be able to see those brush strokes because this is hair, it's a beard. And you want to be able to see that. Now, if you want a darker beard, you can choose a darker color. You can go with like a W5 or 6 if you want your beard to be darker. but I like the really light beard. I think the really light beard is very cute, and it seems to be working well on camera, so I'm happy about that because I was a little bit worried about it. It will stand out a lot more when you get the other color into the picture. There we go. Now we have W00. So when I do the W00, I'm going to put brush strokes all over. Some from the top, some from the middle. Just starting to build in a bit of thickness for this guy's beard. And then definitely some from the bottom. You don't want to go back and forth too much because you'll blend out those dark colors, and you need to have that in there. So you don't want to wash them out. This particular marker has a lot of colorless blenders, so you don't want to wash out that color. And it is a bit hard to see on camera, but if I hold it up, you might be able to see it a little bit better than I can see it here at home. I think I'll do just a little bit more of W1. We could even pull in W2 if we wanted it to have more depth. I'm just going to add a few more brush strokes here just so it looks a little more like a full beard versus a not full beard, I guess you would say. I don't even know what you would call that, but you guys get me, right? You know what I mean. There we go. Now you can see it just a little bit better. There you go. Hopefully you can see that a lot better. I'm going to do around this edge because I didn't have any there. Okay, now if you want to do any highlights, I'm going to touch a little bit with the colorless blender to move some of it, but I'm going to do it in this back and forth motion, and this is just going to move some of the ink around a little bit. It's helpful, but you don't have to do it if you don't want to. So you guys got quiet. You must be watching intently. Okay, even though I used warm on the beard, I want to use the cool colors for his shoes and part of the ornament and items like that, so that they're a little bit more shiny and a little less of the warm color. So for now, I'm going to grab C9, C7, C6, and C5. I don't know if I'll need more, but for now, that's what we're going to grab. Normally I have the colors written down, but tonight, I don't know what happened to my sheet where I had them written down. So we're just winging it. So I'm going to start on his shoes, and I'm going to put a bit of the darkest color right here where this is like the heel of his shoe, and I wanted to accent the difference between those two. So I put a bit of the color here instead of up against the ornament. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Kind of makes it look like he has a little bit higher heels on. Which we all know they probably wouldn't have high heels on, but I think it just gives it personality, and I like it that way. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in the parts of the ornament that I want to be the black color as well. So I'm going to do this line right here. That way we don't have to open and shut the markers too many times. And then also this one, this long one right here. So black is just my accent color. I needed one more color, and since black was the only other one that I had used on the gnome, I went ahead and used the black. It's okay though, I think it worked out really nicely. I'm also going to do this little piece right here in the black, and then this one. So we'll have those pieces ready to go. So next I'm going to start with C7. And then I'm going to work a little bit more on this shoe. I'm going to start going all the way around the edge because I want to keep these shoes pretty dark, the base of the shoe pretty dark. And then I'm going to go along the part that's shadowed by the ornament. The side of the little shoe, I'm going to go ahead and finish that part out with this color. So same thing on this side. We're going to go all the way around and we're going to work out this color right here. I feel like sometimes you have to touch it twice just to get that line to disappear. And then we're going to start up on the actual shoes, just a teeny bit. They're going to be lighter than the soles of the shoes, so I didn't start with C9 for that one. Now we're on to C6, and we're going to start filling this in a bit more. Oh, I didn't do the ornament with the other one. That's all right. We'll come back and do it. I'm going to leave a little space on the shoes for some highlight with the next gray color. So that's why I'm leaving a white spot, just in case you're wondering. And then the heel will of course be finished with this color right here, except for this one. I'll leave a very light spot on that one as well. And then I'm gonna start working on his actual shoe here with this color. There we go. I'm going to switch real quick back to the C7 so I can do the ornament, and then we'll keep going from there. So I'm going to start working on this a little bit. It won't take much. That's why I didn't mind going back to it, because it only took us a second to do that part. Now we're going to move on to our C6 again. We're not going to do anything with the shoes because we already did. We have one more color, so I'm going to just leave a highlight area in the center. We're going to try to do that with this one as well. So I don't know how many of you know, but if you want a very thin line, you have to hold your marker upright. The more upright you hold it, the thinner line you're going to get, and that's pretty important when you're trying to get very thin brush strokes. So that part's probably hard for you to see what I'm doing because I have to have my marker so upright. I'm going to finish that part and this part. So next I have C5, and this is the last color in this combination that I've chosen. So I'm going to use this to blend out the bottom of his shoe at the top of the bottom of his shoe. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. And I like how the lighter you go, the more texture-ish it looks because there's so much colorless blender in it. And then we're going to finish off this shoe. I wanted this heel because it's out front to have a little bit of a highlight on it, where this one in the back doesn't really. And then we're also going to finish the top of those shoes. So his complete shoe will be done in black. And then we'll work on the ornament. We'll finish this ornament off. There we go. And see how it leaves a really nice highlight right there? That center area of that ornament. That was the intent. A little bit on these. And then I'm not going to put any on this or this because I want that to stay darker. So we're just going to leave that as is. All right, next we're going to move on to our green because I'm a huge fan of doing red last because I tend to accidentally touch the red and drag it into my image. So I always use red last. But that's a personal preference. That's not something you have to do or anything. That's just what I like. Okay. Well, I wish I could remember these green colors I was using. I'm going to guess, and we'll see if it works out. I might have to swatch it, so you guys might have to watch that real quick. It won't take long. But generally, whenever I'm trying to make sure it's the color that I want it to be, I will grab the markers that I chose. And then what I'll do is just swatch a part of that color. Like I really wanted, I think that's not the same green. I think what I really want is this green. But let's test them. So I have either one of these greens will be the top one. And then I have this one, which goes very nicely with that one. It goes with this one, but not quite as nicely. I believe this is the one that I used for the last one that I colored, but I might switch it up tonight. This one is YG17. This one's going into a bit of a yellow-green color. That is golden right there. I really like that. And then YG25, even lighter. You always do red last too, Danny? Yeah, I have pulled red into my project too many times that I just don't do it anymore. So I think that's the combination. I'm pretty sure that I used this one for this one that I originally did. But tonight, we're going to switch it up and do this one. It'll give us a little bit of a different color and we'll be able to compare them. And I'm okay with that. So we're going to do that. So that was G28, G07, YG17, YG25, and YG03. So we're going to try those and hopefully it will turn out as beautiful as what we had. So this is G28. And I'm going to start with this hat. We're going to do his outfit and then we're going to do some parts of these ornaments. I didn't do these yet. We'll do those last. I don't have any black. I don't want to put any black on those. Just on the one that has the gnome on it. Makes them special. So I'm going to start by putting a little bit of this darkest color right down here around the corner. And then a little bit right here as well. Because that would be tucked in. And then we're going to do just a little bit right here where we have some folds in our hat. And then I also want to do it going up just a little bit. Got that string blocking it. I'm going to put a little bit along the top of this hat right here. And then I'm going to follow it down to this fold right here. I'm just going to put a little bit there. I'm going to kind of accent this little bump that the artist put in there. Just because I think the intent was to put a little bit of a fold right there. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're also going to put some down here in this corner right here. And then I'm going to go along his face just a little bit on this one side. And that's all I'm going to put on the hat for the darkest color. And then I'm going to work on the pants a little bit. So what's up against the ornament, what's covered by his shoe, what's covered by the ornament. A lot of this underside piece will be pretty dark. And then there's this very small little area right over here that's his leg. Now on the ornament, I decided to do this tiny strip right here. Well, you can tell my marker is very juicy. This must be a very full, juicy marker. This, I'm going to do these bubbles right here. I guess that's what you'd call them, bubbles or scallops. And I'm going to do along the bottom, and then I'm just going to do very small tuck up to the, going up towards the top. So I want it close to the black to be very dark, and then a little bit of a curve going up the side of that bubble. Half a bubble, I guess, is what it would really be. Half a bubble. And then I also like these circles. Since I'm sticking with circles up here, I want to stick with the circles down here also being green. And then I like these areas that go around the black to be green as well. So we're going to put a little bit of that dark green at the base here and then around this side, because this would be a curved bulb. So I need to show that there's a bit of a curve there. And then this one, I want it to look like that centerpiece is sticking out, so it's shadowing the underside. So I added that piece as well. All right, so next we're going to go on to G07. This is a much brighter green, and we're going to just start moving from where we put that original color and extending out, but not spending too much time on top of that color because we don't want to wash it out. So we're just going to start extending those out a bit. Same thing on this side. There we go. We're going to go up this back of this a bit because it is the back side, so it wouldn't get as much light as the front side. Extending this part out, moving this part a little bit. This part we went up, so we're going to go up just a little bit further. Start doing a little bit more here with this tuck we have going on here. And then we'll move on to the next part for the green color. So his pants, they might only get one more color and then that's it. But they're all tucked in, so they're going to be pretty dark anyway. Here on this one, I'm going to extend out and kind of start going around the bulb. The little bubble, as I called it. Holding it upright, holding the marker upright so I get a very fine line so I'm not covering in too much space. I do the same thing with these. Just starting to fill those in. Up from the bottom, down from the top. For this area, I'm going to go around that center piece right there. Same thing on this side, down. There we go. I'm going to save that bead, I think, for red. And we also have to do this part right here. We have to soften that harsh edge we had. All right, so moving on to YG17. This is going to get significantly brighter. A little more yellow in this. This is the second to the last color. The last color gets extremely light, so this one will be the one that I use for around the outside of everything. So I'm going to make sure that I have all the around the outside of all of this covered by this color. So you'll notice that a lot of my brush strokes are done on the side of my marker. That's so I get more coverage. Kind of puts more ink on the paper, and that was kind of what I was going for at this point. Around the outside, a little bit more. So there we go. We have the hat all started out. Then we're going to finish off the clothing, so it's just a back and forth. This one didn't have any left over. I'm going to add some of this color to that top piece. I'll probably skip the next color and just do the last one for highlight. Same thing with these. They're just too small to put 5 colors in there, so we'll just skip the next color and do the last one. I want to soften these up just a little bit though. Get a little bit more of that yellow color because these are getting brighter as we go. All right, so next we really only have to do the hat with the YG25 because the hat is so big that we want to have enough of each color in there. We're just going to leave a very small area for highlight. Now you might think right away when you're looking at this, oh, are you going to leave all those lines in there? I'm not. I'm going to work those. I just want to get the color in here first. If you don't know what I'm talking about, what I mean is all of these. Like you can see where one ink color stopped and the next ink color started. What you need to do is just give that a second after you put it down and go over it a second time right where that meetup is, and it'll take it away. and you won't have those lines in there anymore. It'll be a nice smooth transition, which is what you're normally looking for. And that's how I blend those colors to get that very even look. Now, I don't want to do any of the other stuff with this color. I want to do it with the lightest one, which is YG03. So when I do the last color, I'm going to do that as a back and forth. Just kind of saturates a little bit more and pulls the other colors in so that they blend really well together. It's a nice, smooth, beautiful look with still highlight and dark. You like the green combo? Yeah, it's pretty. I like it too. I mean, I like the other one, but I like this one. I like this one a lot. That's why I decided to switch it at the last minute. So kind of that back and forth, blend that until it's smooth. Not too much though, you don't want to wash it out. So if it doesn't go away right away, go to the next one. Work that one. And then you can go back and touch this one up. And I'll go back and touch that one up. And then we have nice smooth transitions on those as well. In the little circles, we want them to look like highlights, so we're just going to color them in a little bit, and those just did absolutely fabulous. Same thing on this part. I'm just going to work this corner right here where I got a little bit too much of the darker color on it. Kind of try to lighten it up with this lighter color. So we're good with that. I'm going to go ahead and hold it up just now so you can see. So you can like really see the shadow that you almost can't see when it's laying down. It's very smooth coloring and the shadowing looks really good. Here's the difference between the two. You can see how this one was way darker. It's because I changed the green. Now we're going to switch over to red. So we have our green done. I'm going to hold this green because we're going to need it for the ornaments at the bottom, but we need red. Okay, this is the red we're going to, that's nice too. Yeah, I like them both, but I like that we changed it up a little bit. R89, R39, which is not the normal I put with 89, R46 and 24. I love this combination, and I will show you why when we color up this one. So because all we have, we don't have any red on our gnome, so we're going to put red on the ornament, and then I'm going to start working on these as soon as I'm done with the red on here. So this is a circle that he's holding on to, like the loop. So we're not going to put any color on that at all. But his hand is over top of the ornaments. I want to get some depth in there for sure. And his shoe as well. Now I'm going to start working underneath. That's where his shoe would be putting a reflection onto the ornament. And then I'm going to start working on the back side. There would be less light on the back side. So I'm going to put just a little bit of shadow going on there. I'm also going to put some down in here because these would be real hard to get a lot of light in there. So I'm going to just put that down there. Now I'm going to work on this section right here. So again, in the back, it would be darker. So I'm going to put a little bit more back there. And then I'm going to definitely put a bit down here on both sides. And then on this side, I'm just going to put a little bit up in the corner. We'll get more in there as we go on with the next colors. And then right here, the part where the ornament is shadowing. Quite a bit, actually. Next, we're going to use this R39. And we're just going to start building out from it. It's a very berry-ish. It's kind of a pink red versus the deep auburn red that, or burgundy red that we started out with. It's not rosy red, but that rosy red will come out when we use R46. So this is kind of mixing the different shades and textures of red to get a really beautiful color. So if you wanted to stay burgundy, I would not use R46 because that one is going to bring us back to red. R46 is my absolute favorite red of all times. So I like to mix it in with a lot of different stuff just to get that red fire engine awesome red. On top of the fact that my R27 is messed up and I have to get a new one, so I can't even do the 29, 27, 24, or whatever that a lot of people use. So that's a problem. But here it is. It's even called strong red. I'm telling you, it makes a big difference in red. So you'll be able to see it right here. I'm going to leave just a very light highlight area right there. But you can already tell that this red is changed from this red. This is going to be my true red color, so it's getting a lot more love in all these areas. Then we have a highlight color coming up next. And we'll leave just a little bit for that. This one I'm going to go around. I'm probably not going to leave too much on this bottom section because it is so small and this red is bringing out the red, so feeling pretty good about that. Same with this one, but I think I'm going to leave a little dot there. So next is going to be R24. And that's where I'm going to blend that in. And this sometimes will take like a second or two for it to really blend, but look how much it pops with that red. This R24 is a bit of an orangey red instead of red to me. So I feel like it gives a whole different feeling to it. So if I put that test sheet of paper out here that I had a few minutes ago that we just tested colors on, if I put this out here, this is a much more orangey red than this red. This is the 46 right here. This is red. This is 24. 24 has more orange in it. So sometimes you'll want to go over the other color just so you can keep that same tone going throughout the whole image. Even though I didn't leave any space here, I'm just going to put a little bit over top just so I can get that orangey color in there as well. And then that'll make it pop as well. So we're just going to go back and forth to get this orangey color in there. And look at that. So nice. I love it. So in case you didn't know, you have to really watch your reds. Some reds have orange tone to them. Some have like a pink tone. So you have to, that's why it's good to swatch them out so you know which one it's holding. So I'm going to go back to the greens because we need to do our ornaments down here. Whew. Things be flying all over my desk. So I'm going to start with G28. And I want, there's so much green up here that I'm going to do just less accents down here. So more of this is going to be red than green. So I chose this tiny area right here. I chose this area. It will definitely have more green on the bottom because it's falling to the ground. And then this part right here, I'm going to make this part green as well. So definitely more green on this side. Definitely in these little crevices, just like we did before. I'm going to skip that one, and just like a candy cane would be, I'm going to go every other one down here. More on the bottom side, staying consistent with that, but a little bit on the top side. So I'm going to do the same exact spots on this side. I want them to look like they're the same kind of ornament. So this is just a repeat of what we just did. Just those little areas in there, and a little bit of this. Then skip that one. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do this one. And there we go. So next color, you're always having trouble pulling your reds. Reds can be challenging, they can. So I mix a lot of things with red. Like if I can't get enough orange tone to it and I want orange, I'll put an orange color right in there with it. So yeah, you can play with the colors. Mix them in. Sometimes for orange, I'll add a yellow if I want a yellow tone in there. So you can add other colors to it. They don't have to be whatever Copic designed as the red or as the yellow or even any color. You can mix the colors and change them up. I mean, if we could only go with what they gave us, we'd be in trouble on purple for sure. Definitely have to mix purples together to get the pretty purples that you want. So yes, it's challenging. I'd like to get some color combination documents set up for you guys to be able to download to help with some of that color combination stuff. Some of my favorites, and not for sale, just for you guys to download maybe on YouTube or something. I haven't gotten there yet, but that is on my to-do list. I mean, you always know everybody has their own color choices and combinations, and if we were all the same, it wouldn't be any fun. So it's always good to get everybody's take on what different colors they like, and you know, all that jazz. Yep, I'm working on it. I'd also like to do a getting back to the basics information for you guys as well, just as a refresher course, and then for any new people coming in, they can learn as well. There we go. One more green color, and then we have the red, and you saw how fast the red went by, so we should be pretty good. I'm just gonna skip right to the YG03. I don't feel like these are big enough that we necessarily need to have the two colors of YG. So I'm just gonna work this blend real quick, and it worked out great. Usually once you get to know your markers, that's kind of the key, is learning about your markers and how they respond with different colors, and that really helps you know what you can start blending together. So the more you know about your markers and how they behave, the better, because some will just sit that color on there perfectly, and some will be a beast, like they won't blend quite as well as you wanted them to. And you can't go by the caps or the numbers or anything like that. You have to actually play with the marker to know how it reacts. Some of them have more colorless blenders, so they They just wash out your other color. I mean, there's a lot of little things about them and the way they behave. So the more you use them, the more it'll come to you. Okay, next we're gonna do our red for these ornaments, and then we're gonna be ready to put our stuff together. I know you guys are totally ready for that. So for these up here, I want to make these look kind of rounded. So I'm gonna round each one of these corners, trying to keep from a square look here and sort of give it a little bit of personality, as if it doesn't already have enough. It really is a beautiful ornament. I mean, really, this is really pretty stuff. Whoever did this ornament and these gnomes did a fabulous job, because they are super cute and really fun to color. And they go by a bit faster than I thought they would. So I was pretty happy about that too. So you might notice, if you're watching closely, that I'm putting a lot more darker side on this side, is because it's falling on the ground. So the light would be coming from the top. So same thing on this one. It'll be on this side, it'll be the darkest, but I want to work on making these look a little bit rounded. I mean, you guys probably recognize that, knowing what kind of impression I want to give for that, just by looking at it. Once I color it in, it makes sense. Doing the tops of these, just doing it with one thin line rather than the small brush strokes I did up at the top, just because it's such a small area. There we go. Just 3 more colors and we'll be done. This is R39, and this won't get a lot of this one. This is just going to be to kind of clean up and get that pretty pink kind of color in there, because you got to have all of them to get the same tone as this one. So I'm just putting a little bit in there, not too much in each one, just so we have that color in there along with the rest of it. Doing the around the outside with the next color, so not doing all of it. And then we got to do the tops of these. You could just color these in solid, but I just thought they'd look better if you gave them a little bit more oomph. You're just soaking it all in. Yay! Hi, Tammy Kirk. Thank you for popping on. We're super happy to see you. Oh, and Sarah too. Hi. Okay, we're about to put together our card, and it's a mini Slimline, and we're going to make an envelope, and it's going to be a gift card holder. We got lots of stuff about to come up. So don't go away or you'll miss all of the fancy stuff coming up next. I've already got it cut, so you don't have to sit here and watch me cut it, with the exception of the way the gift card holder works. I wanted to show that to you. I didn't want to cut that ahead of time. So I will be able to share that with you because I think it's super cool. You can't be the only one with questions, Cheryl. You love the reds. You'll have to rewatch to get the color combo. Oh yeah, these reds are, I was said at the beginning that this red is like my favorite red, because you can tell that this one looks a lot deeper red and that one looks a little more orangey red, and that'll be because of the next step that we're going to do, and you'll see it come to life. It's pretty cool to watch. Just give me 1 second and I will be there to show you. I know some who are here saw it, but those who haven't, just stick around for just a couple seconds and I will be at that point. Okay, so that was R46. Now we're going to throw in the R24, and that's where I showed you the difference. This is R46, this is R24. This one has more orangey, this one's more pinky. So here we go. When I start filling these in, look at that. Oh my goodness. Here we go with this one. It just makes it pop. It just jumps right off the page when you add that color to it. If you want that deep color, I'd leave it, but I always have questions. You are not alone. Yeah. Everyone has questions. I'm always happy to answer. So now they match our ones up here. But you have to have all these colors because each one of these colors has its own part to play in this combination. Sometimes they're just enhancing dark and light, but sometimes they're shifting the colors, and that's what I was doing with these. So I definitely need all of the colors when I'm doing this. And they blend so smoothly and so beautifully, just like the green did for us. So it was amazing. Yes, it pops off the page. So this is the one that we did tonight, and this is the one that I did prior to the live. So you can see there's a bit more depth in this color. I think I added one more red to this one and the different color green. So we end up with different shades, but still beautiful. So before we move on, I want to grab my white gel pen because I like putting a little bit of accent with the white gel pen. I've always been afraid of doing this, but I've just started doing it a little more lately, and I really like it. So I'm just going to put a little bit on his shoes, just because I think it's super cute. And then I'm going to put a little bit on his nose where we had that highlight. And then I want to put just a little bit along this area of the hat to show that his head is like underneath there. So I'm going to do some dots and I'm going to do some lines. And then right here where it curves around, I kind of like that as well. I didn't really put any in here. I just wanted him to stand out. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Okay, so let's zoom out if I can get my phone to do that, and then we'll work on the project because I think it's really neat. Okay, so you can already see my mess on my desk. All right, so here's what we have. We have a card base ready for a mini slimline card, and we have the inside piece already cut, and then we have this envelope we're going to make. So for those who missed the beginning, the envelope pieces come from this mini slimline at Trinity Stamps. You usually do a mini slimline at 6x6. I did mine at 6.5 by 6.25. So that, because the envelope was bigger than I thought when I put it together. And tomorrow night we'll play with this again, but we'll do tags and some other stuff. So this, I cut these pieces out. So what you have to do is take the side that has the emboss and put that down. And then we're going to fold on these lines. They were already embossed based on the die took care of that for us. And then I'm going to use this amazing tool that they sent me, which is super awesome. This Teflon pen looking thing. It's awesome. When I got it, I was like, what am I going to do with that? But once I used it, I was like, whoa, that is like epic. I mean, it makes the best fold line ever. Perfect. Hi, Donnell. Okay, so what we do next is each one of these goes on each side. So we're going to have one on this side and we're going to have one on this side. Now I could use my Barely Art glue for this. It would hold it, but I think because I want to be able to see what I'm doing as I'm doing it, I'm going to use this this double-sided Sukwang sticky tape stuff right along this piece right here. It just kind of fits perfectly, so I'm just going to use that. I do have some scissors that I cut tape with. They have washi tape all over them, so I know the right ones to use, so I don't make my other one sticky. You don't want to leave anything hanging over because that sticky part would be inside your envelope and your stuff would stick to it. So you definitely don't want to do that. Make sure there's no excess hanging off the edge, because if it was, you would be sad when your card sticks to the inside of your envelope. I think I'll make a lot more of these mini Slimlines now that I have this envelope, because I had no idea where I was going to get an envelope for that. And I'm not one to sit around and like try to, you know, search on Amazon. I'll only search on Amazon for a couple of minutes, and after that I just get tired of it and I give up. I just don't like to do that. I'm going to add just a little strip of this glue. What that'll do is that'll help me move it around so it won't stick immediately. It'll give me some time to play around with it, because that tape doesn't give you any give. Once it sticks, it sticks. But if you put glue over it, you have a little bit of time to move around. So I have one side on. Now we're going to put the other side on. So when I learned that putting the glue over this double-sided sticky tape, man, that was like life-altering for me. Surprisingly, they are pretty fast to find at different companies, but yeah, you do have to look. You do, I know, and I'm so lazy. I just get tired of looking or picking the wrong thing to say when I'm trying to Google it or what. It just drives me crazy. I feel like I don't have time for that. So I just move on. Okay, so we have both of those on there. I'm just going to go inside and just press them real quick because we do have tape in there. So I'm going to fold these up as well and get our folds on the, this is going to be the bottom of our envelope, and this one is going to be the top closure part. So all we have to do is take these two and put them over each other. And then you could put glue there, or you could put a tiny thing of tape. So I'm just going to use glue for this. Now that you saw how the other part worked, I'm just going to put this little tiny line of glue. That's all I need. I'm going to put one over top of the other, and then I'm just going to hold it for a second until it sticks. It doesn't take too long. Let's see. Nice. Okay, so we have a hold there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece right here and we're going to attach it right there. Looks like an envelope now, right? So I'm just going to use my Barely Art glue on this one too. I mean, we could use the double-sided sticky tape, but I feel like that just takes me longer. Again, a little bit lazy on that part. I'd rather color than spend time tearing tape. Not gonna lie, it's the truth. So you could put a pop dot there, or you could put tape there, however you want to seal that. That's up to you. Now, I did say earlier that the die, there is a die in the set. It's a very tiny die. It's a circle, and it looks like this. And if you make one and you put a brad through there, you can wrap the, you can put one here, and you can put one here, and then you can twist the ribbon around it if you want, or the, you know what I'm saying. anyway, that's cool. I like that you have that option if you're not going to mail it. Now, I wanted to decorate the outside of the envelope just a little bit. Now, we'd put my address there, their address here, so I thought, wouldn't it be adorable if we put this on there as well? So this is the same ornaments that we put on the front of our card. And I'm just going to use black because I'm not going to color it on the front of my envelope, but I wanted to put it, this is where the stamp will go. So I wanted to put it in this corner, but I think I'm going to kind of lay it catty corner so that I can make the string look like it's hanging off of the envelope. And then you want to press real hard if you're not using a MISTI because you don't want it to not come out because that would be a bummer. Ta-da! So now I have a little bit of a decoration on the outside of my envelope, which I love, by the way. Okay, so now we have an envelope. Yay! We're ready to go on our envelope. So now it's time to put our card together. Now this is the part I wanted to show you guys because I thought this part was so cool. This is what's in the set. And this is what's going to make the gift card holder. I know it sounds crazy, but it really works. So I'm just going to place this right here. And I'm going to put a small piece of washi tape on it because I want it to hold still when I run it through this trimmer. Anyone have this problem with their washi tape where they can't find the beginning of it? Does it drive you crazy like it drives me crazy? It looks like I ripped this one off a few times in the wrong place. See? Doesn't that drive you nuts when your tape does that? It does, drives me nuts. Alright, different washi tape. I don't know why, but that particular one piece of washi tape does that to me every single time. So we'll just use this one. If I can find where it starts. There it is. And this one peels off very nicely. So no problem there. You can use it if you trade ATC cards to hold the ATC in the card. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I didn't even think of that. I haven't done ATCs in a while, but I used to do them every other month, like run the ATC swap. So, but I haven't done that in a while. And I'm going to do this on my little Gemini Mini so you can watch as it happens. But I'm just going to lay this piece in here. And I'm going to roll this through. I think that's amazing. Hi, Kareen. And then when you flip it over and you take this piece off right here, you now have these little holders right here. And I actually have a gift card on my desk somewhere that I was going to show you, where it will just go right in here. And you could even stamp something underneath as a surprise. Once they take the gift card out, they can see, oh, look, there's a message in there for me. So the card slides right in there. They can pull it out easily. You still have room for a message. And then you can just put that right inside your card. I thought that was genius. Just saying. I really did. So this is my card. This is the 6.5 by 6 1/4. I'm going to go ahead and leave my gift card on there, and I'm just going to glue this on the inside of my card. I knew I wanted this to go in here, so I would probably put the gift card in first before you glue, or just make sure you don't glue on those little circles or you'll glue them down and then you'll be in trouble. So don't do that. So don't do that. But I put mine in there already so that when I press this all down, I don't end up pressing my little circles down. So I can definitely have a gift card holder. So it's in there really sturdy, doesn't fall out. It is genius. I'm telling you, it's amazing. I'm super happy about it. And then I thought, well, I should give my card just a little bit of personality. So I decided that I was going to pop up my front of my card. So I found some of this pop stuff, this, I don't know, pop up whatever you call this, but in strips instead of squares, which by the way, I am loving because it is so much easier than putting 500 squares on the back of my card. And you guys know I love these things and I use way too many of them. And so this is awesome. So I found this when I was cleaning the other day and I was like, oh, I am using that, especially for my lives. Boom. Yep. Foam. Double-sided sticky foam tape. Awesome. So I'm going to cut myself just a few strips of them to put along the inside so that it works out perfectly. I'm going to put one right here. I'm going to put one right here. I'm going to put two in the center like this. They work really good. I'm still going to flip it over and make sure it doesn't sink down anywhere. Once I'm happy with that, I'm going to do this. A lot easier than 500 of those little squares. Sometimes I need little squares, sometimes you don't. You know, I almost sang that out just like the commercial. I'm going to stand up so I can center this appropriately, hopefully. Now you could put glue on the back of these so you can move them around if you needed to as well, but I feel confident we can get this on the first try. Yay! So that worked out. So then I thought, okay, well, that is so stinking cute. And even popped up, it still fits in my envelope. Even popped up, it fits right in my envelope like that and closes up. See that? Isn't that awesome? I love that I can make an envelope that fast. I could do these on an assembly line, and man, I'll tell you what, I would have them done in no time. So there were some small accent pieces I told you about that were in this set, like this one is a label that you could put a title on, but it had this little heart die, and I was like, this heart die is so cute. I want to use it. So I decided that we're going to add it to this card. But before we do, I want to use this Wink of Stella. Well, I had to think about that because I usually call it Stink of Wella. I don't know why. But I just wanted to make it sparkle a little bit. So I just put this Wink of Stella all over the front of this cardstock. And then it just gave it a second to dry. I can actually see it drying as it goes. But what it's going to do is make a sparkle on that heart. And I like that sparkle. It will also lighten up. It's a little bit dark right now, but when it dries, it lightens right up and sparkles like crazy. So we are going to add that to our card. And that was just Wink of Stella. Very easy and quick to use. I'll put glue on the back of this. And I want to put this cute little heart right here on this card because I feel like it's perfect right there. I mean, I'm giving a gift card, so I must really like you. I must really like you, otherwise I wouldn't put a gift card in there. But look, it's sparkly, sparkly, sparkly. I really like that. Now, if you wanted, you could add more embellishments, more little bling or whatever. But I kind of liked it simple and sweet, just like this. It has sparkle on the heart, which makes me happy. And so that is our Slimline card. I mean, we had to cut the paper ourselves, the actual card base. But once we cut the card base, everything else I used in this set to make this, including the envelope, was all done with the same die set. So even this scalloped frame for your mini, all the same card die set. So I loved it. So this is what it looks like. It's got a whole bunch of pieces. There's some extra pieces in here you can use. But like I said, we're going to play with the tags tomorrow because there's a few little extra thingies in here that I think are pretty cool with the tags as well. So we'll do the other gnome that we did not do tonight. We'll do this gnome tomorrow night. And we'll make some tags. We'll make one with a gnome, and then we'll make one without a gnome so that you can see like different ways of using all of this stuff. So I hope that you guys enjoyed that. I'm pretty sure this is going to be close to what my Christmas cards are going to look like this year because this is stinking cute. I like that little gnome on there. And now I have two. Yay! And they're both gift card holders. And I always have to have gift card holders. It's perfect. So great. And don't think I won't be using that gift card die thing on cards. Because it's not attached to anything, so you could put it on anything you wanted. I love it. Just saying. This other envelope, I had put this up here. But, of course, if you need a stamp for that one, it probably won't work that way. But anyway, I hope that you guys really enjoyed that. I love this. I have a lot more of Trinity Stamp stuff that I got in that is really cute as well. So there'll be more Trinity Stamps coming in the future. Thursday night, we'll do the tags. I know everybody needs tags for Christmas. So thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching on the replay on YouTube, all the color combos will be in the description. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I'm super glad to have you here. You guys have a great evening. Yay, you loved it. I love hearing that. Good night.